Hello everybody, welcome back to Kanga TV, home of North Melbourne fans, and today is a very, very exciting day. It's Saturday the 8th of February 2025, and this morning's session at Arden Street marks the end of the pre-season. That's it. We're done. The 2025 AFL Premiership season is officially upon us. I just want to do a quick video today wrapping up a few bits and pieces from the pre-season, what to expect over the next month, and then get ready for what is about to be one of the biggest and best seasons of North Melbourne. I can feel it. I'm sure you guys can feel it as well. Let's just get straight into the video. Starting off with the feel-good story of the week. At the end of the match simulation that took place at Thursday's training, so a couple of days ago, there was a huge round of applause, a massive ovation as the boys came together at the end of the session. There were rumours that LDU had announced a contract extension, but those rumours were quickly laid to rest. The news was actually coming from Braden George, our injury-prone Braden George, who has cleared all of his medicals ahead of schedule and is expected to return to the VFL in round one and potentially push for AFL selection as well, which is such exciting news for him. You know, he is such a great talent, and he's someone that I think collectively as a fan group, we're all really, really excited to see. I think there's some people from the outside as well, outside of North Melbourne, who are really looking forward to seeing him hopefully have an impact at AFL level, and unfortunately we've had a few delays in getting him out on the park. He hasn't been able to get his body right. He's battled with injury over the past few years, but he has not only recovered nicely from his recent injury, he's actually ahead of the medical schedule and he's been cleared. So all going well from now until the lead in round one. He will definitely be back at VFL level, but potentially we'll see him sooner. We might see him through a couple of practice games in the next few weeks and maybe even pushing for AFL selection. That would be a massive morale boost for the group. I think also for fans who have been waiting very impatiently at this point to see what he can do. I think he would add a lot of excitement. I think that he could add something different both forward and back. He has played in both positions during his time at North and in the VFL and obviously at training. So waiting to see, and hopefully all fingers crossed that he gets through unscathed up until the lead into the AFL season, and potentially we'll see him out on the park at AFL level sooner than we all expected. It's great news for him. It's great news for the club, and definitely ending off the preseason on a high. We all know the usual suspects that show up and perform year in, year out, but there were a few names that were new floating around during this preseason. Robert Hansen Jr. is probably the one I wanted to talk about the most. He has really come a long way since stepping through the door at North Melbourne 18 months ago, obviously taken in that mid-season draft. There was a lot of hype around him and what he could potentially do, and while he hadn't quite had an impact on the side up until late in 2024, I always talk about those last two games. They were pretty much forgettable for most reasons other than his performance, I think, against the Bulldogs and Hawthorn in rounds 23, 24 and 2024 were outstanding. He was definitely a shining light where there wasn't much to really be so happy about. That form has carried him well into the off-season and back in pre-season, and he's looking likely to be our first choice of small forward if we do look to bring in a traditional small forward into this mix, which I think is really important for us. We now have a few really reliable key targets up forward who can bring the ball to ground, and now it's about finding players that we can have at their feet, you know, the crumbing small forwards, the opportunistic small forwards, and he's really shaping as the leader in the pack. I did go down to training last week, I believe it was, and he just looked really ferocious. His tackles are not only sticking, but they are with intent and really intense, and I think he's really just committing himself 100% to every contest, and that's exactly what you need from someone in his position. So he is hoping he can not only break into the side but really have an impact, not just for his benefit but for ours as well. A coming small forward is something we've really lacked, and quality small forward is something we've lacked for quite some time now, so it would be great to see him in the discussion. Will Phillips is the other one. I think a lot of us are really hoping that this is his year, and I think a lot of us do believe this is his year. I did a video about him not long ago on the channel. He's really bulked up in size. He really looks like he's ready to go, and obviously in the absence of George, it would be great for him to step in and fill that hole, which I think he can. I think while it is unfortunate, and I said this the other day when I did a video on George, it is unfortunate for George, again, another injury. It is a real hole in our side, but we do have a stack of talent waiting in the wings and ready to step up in his place. And I think that Will Phil is really in a position that he can do that, as is Tom Powell. Now, Tom Powell had a breakout season in 2024, and I expect that to go yet another level up in 2025, also come back, bulked on a lot of size. He's only 22 years of age as well, and he's ferocious tackles, but he's also really great in and under. He can go back when needed, and I think he's really been a standout. There was an article about him during the week on the North website, and he has basically got a flawless game according to all of those onlookers, and I really expect him to have a massive year. I think he has the ability to really shape this side and shape this midfield in season 2025 and moving forward. Speaking of shaping the midfield, the last player I wanted to touch on is Finn O'Sullivan. There's been so much hype around Finn O'Sullivan as well. I picked him to debut in round 1, and it wouldn't surprise me if it's going that way. He's clean in a contest. He's clean on the outside. He's providing us run and skill that we maybe haven't had before. I think his versatility and durability are two things that will really serve us well in that midfield. And again, it gives us a different look. We can have a bit of a shuffle around with the magnets inside a game, and we can look different and we can look just as dangerous having him playing in multiple positions. So I think he is definitely someone that is exciting to watch as well. There was one more I wanted to touch on, is Taylor Goad. There's been a lot of talk and a lot of hype around the young ruckman as well. He looks to be coming on in leaps and bounds. Now, we know big men, they do take a little bit longer to develop, and I think if someone like LDU has taught me anything, it's that patience is a virtue, and I'm definitely trying to practice that as best as I can, especially with Tristan Xerri coming off the breakout season that he had in 2024 as well. So there's a few names in the mix that are really standing out in and amongst all of your usual suspects. All of this North talk just makes me more and more excited for the season to start. I think it's really now, with preseason officially behind us, we can look forward to getting prepared for a big season, and like I said at the top of the video, what we expect to be a massive season for North, and one that could really start to shape our return up the ladder. So what do the next few weeks look like for North Melbourne? Well, the boys head over to Shepparton for a community camp early in the week, and then Captain Jai Simkin will fly over to Perth to represent the Indigenous All-Stars in their exhibition game against Fremantle at Optus Stadium on Saturday night, the 15th of Feb. That same day is the North Melbourne Family Day as well. It's a really, really nice way to kickstart the season. I will be there. Hopefully I'll get to meet as many of you down there as possible. Then the following weekend at Arden Street, football is officially back at Arden Street for season 2025. We take on the Melbourne Demons in our first preseason game. Kickoff is at 11 a.m. on Saturday, the 22nd of February. Hopefully as many of you can get down there as possible. It is free to enter, and it's our first opportunity to see the boys in action and all of the hype from the preseason unfold in front of our eyes. The 23rd of Feb, the following day on the Sunday, is the Further North live show at Mr. West. I will leave a link for tickets in the description below. I'll be there. Josh will be there. North Closer to a Flag will be there. Eddie Ford will be there. It's going to be an incredible afternoon. Then the following weekend, we head over to Bunbury, our new home away from home, Hands Stadium. The 1st of March, we take on West Coast in our official preseason game. And that's it. That's us. That is everything happening in the next few weeks. And the following week, Labor Day weekend here in Victoria, that is round 0. We can just sit back and relax and watch all of the action taking place in New South Wales and Queensland as a great appetizer to what is going to be our highly anticipated round 1 game against the Western Bulldogs at Marvel Stadium on the 15th of March. There's so much happening. I just absolutely can't wait. The season is well and truly here. Footy fever, I think, has finally got a chokehold on all of us. I have just loved riding every single moment of this journey so far with you guys in 2025, and it's only about to get bigger and better. I hope you guys are joining me for the journey, not just here on YouTube, but also over on socials. We can chat, we can talk all things Northball, Kanga TV show on Instagram, X, and on Facebook. If you do like the content that's coming out on Kanga TV at the moment, please like this video and subscribe. It really does help grow the channel, and share it with some of your North friends. The more the merrier as part of the Kanga TV community. That's it. I will see you guys in my next video.